Hi and welcome back to The Books Are Everywhere. So today we are here with my second September TBR. I know we did my TBR game, my mini golf game as usual, but I actually have something else I want to take part in September, which means I need to create an entire other TBR for it. I could have been easy on myself and just done away with my TBR game for this month and done this instead, but I wanted to just do both because I think you guys enjoy my mini golf game. So I'm also going to be taking part in Becca's Bookoplathon. I'm not going to push myself too much with this one, but I couldn't resist the chance to play Bookopoly for myself. So if you didn't know, Becca from Becca and the Books is hosting a month-long readathon. I took part in the 48-hour version of this back in March, I think it was, and I really loved taking part. And I read 8 books that weekend, so I couldn't pass up the chance to take part in this one. It runs from the 1st to the 30th of September, so the whole month of September. And the idea of this is we use Becca's TBR game, which is Bookopoly, which is based on Monopoly, to decide our TBRs. So Becca has very kindly created our own Bookopoly boards that we can print out. You will see mine in a minute, and chance cards and community cards, I think they're called. Which we can actually choose from ourselves. So I have printed that out. I have my little Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas as my little figure to go around the board. And yeah, I just thought this would be a real lot of fun. I will link the announcement video for this down below if you did want to take part in this readathon as well. Also, I would recommend going to check out one of Becca's videos. I will link her January Bookopoly video because I know that's the one that she explains the rules in more detail and goes around a full tour of the board. So I will link both of those down below. But basically we have a board that we will be going round. We need to roll. I'm going to roll all of mine now and build my TBR now, but you can do that throughout the month if you want to. I am going to do this 5 times because obviously I already have 5 books from my mini golf TBR, so I don't want to be too hard on myself, but I think 10 books is doable for me if I push myself and I have the motivation to, which hopefully this will give me. So I have a counter, I have my community shelf cards and my chance cards already set up. The only thing I don't have is a dice or 2 dice that we need because I've looked everywhere in the board games in this house and none of them seem to have die in them, which is really weird. So I have actually downloaded a virtual dice to my phone, which I will just roll twice because you do need 2 to be able to do this. So I'm just going to roll this one after the other and then you add those 2 together. If they both come out with the same number, then you have to add a book to your TBR. But if not, I will just use the sum of the 2 that we get to go around the board. So those are basically the rules. I'm building my TBR at the beginning. I'm going to roll 5 times. I have 2 die to move around the board. And the only other rule is if I can't find a book to fulfill one of the prompts, I can then choose to roll again. However, I have to then choose 2 books for the next prompt, obviously adding another book to my TBR. So I think that's all of the rules and everything, so let's get started on actually playing this. I'm going to move my camera in between playing the game and talking about the book that I've chosen because I think that will be the easiest way to do it. And yeah, let's just get started on my second September TBR. So this is a really weird angle to film from because I'm over here, very close to my camera. But anyway, this is the little printable Bookopoly board, including these tiny little cards on here that all have, so the community shelf cards have prompts on them and the chance cards have specific books on there, which I've put a bit of a mix of books I really want to read and more difficult ones or ones I don't want to get to right now. I would like to choose a fairly easy TBR because I'm obviously doing 2. But anyway, let's get started. We're on the go one right now. So let's roll my die. So 3 and 1, so we're going to move 4 spaces. And that is a Tbr Veteran, or a book that has been on your TBR for a while, so let's choose a book. So the first one I got is Tbr Veteran, which is a book that has been on your TBR for a long time, and I am going with The Death Cure by James Dashner. I have been slowly making my way through this series over the past couple of months, and these are some of the oldest books on my TBR, or the books that have been on my physical TBR for the longest time. So it'll be good to not only be able to continue with this series, but also get this series off my TBR, hopefully. So I do have the kill order as well, but the next one for me is the Death Cure. So this one is the third book in the Maze Runner series, which follows our main character, who I've forgotten the name of, Thomas. So this one is the third book in the Maze Runner series, which follows our main character Thomas as he is trapped in a maze, and he is just dumped there at the start of the first book and he doesn't know why, and there are only boys in this maze, and there's like doors in the maze that close them in completely each night, and there are people who he lives with in this environment who go running through the maze in the day before the doors close, and he decides he wants to be a runner and to basically help try and find them a way out of this maze. And then mysteriously a girl appears and they don't really know why, and the story kind of goes on from there. And then there is the Scottish Trials, which I read last month, and there is the Death Cure, which I need to read next. So I'm going to read this one in September for my TBR Veteran. Let's do another roll. So here we are again with my little player on TBR Veteran. So let's do 2 more rolls. So we have 5 and 3, so that's 8. And that is a mood read. So as far as I know for this one, I think we decide this one as we go, and I don't actually have to decide it right now, but I will double check that with you. So it does say on the rules for the game, which is in a Google Drive folder, which is linked in Becca's announcement video, so check the description on that video that I linked down below. But yeah, so it says in the rules that you can either leave this one for when you are reading during the month, or you can pick it when you're doing your TBR. And for the sake of getting it all in this one video, I am going to pick one now, and I've gone with She's Too Pretty to Burn by Wendy Hurd. Mainly because I think this book is set at the end of summer, and I know that if I don't read it in September, I'm probably not going to read it until next year, because it looks like a very summery book, and the first line of the synopsis is "The summer is winding down in San Diego." So I feel like this one will be a perfect one for September. And as far as I know, this is a thriller that is inspired by The Picture of Dorian Gray. And it's a sexy psychological thriller exploring the intersections of love, art, danger and power, and it follows 2 best friends who are called Mick and Veronica, and apparently they are soon falling in love, and they never imagine what comes next. 1 fire, 2 murders, 3 drowning bodies, 1 suspect, 1 stalker. This is a summer they won't survive. So I feel like this, because it's a thriller, will be quite a quick one to read as well, so it's not too much pressure on my TBR, and the text is also quite big. The chapters they are very short, which I always love, and it is only just above 300 pages, so it's not a super long one either. So right now we have She's Too Pretty to Burn and the Death Cure with 3 rolls to go, so let's pick my next one. So just because it's easier for you guys to see, I have moved the board around so you can see this side a little bit clearer, but we are here right now on mood read, so let's do another roll. So we have 4 and 2, so that's 6. And that one is Myth, Lore, Legend or Fairy Tale, which I'm going to have to look into my TBR for and pick a book. So for this one, I am going to choose This Poison Heart by Kaylin Bayron. This is actually a retelling of The Secret Garden, and it follows a main character who can grow plants, I think. And apparently discovers a deadly family legacy in this contemporary, inclusive feminist fantasy by the same author as Cinderella is Dead. I read Cinderella is Dead earlier this year and I really, really loved it. And Bloomsbury kindly sent me a proof of this one, so I might get round to it finally. I do really want to read this one, and I really like Cinderella is Dead, and from what I have been told by people who read it, it also includes a lot of mentions of Greek mythology, which is why I've included it, but I always struggle with Greek mythology or mythology retellings in general. So I think this one will hopefully be a good one to kind of introduce me a little bit more into books that are inspired by Greek mythology and just mythology in general, and is mainly focused on a retelling of The Secret Garden. So that's our 3rd book, so let's pick the 4th. So we are here to pick the 4th book. I haven't actually moved the board around this time, but yeah, let's go. So we have 5 and 4, so that's 9. So I am going to move this board around so you can see it a bit better. Okay, so we are here and we've got 9 spaces to go. Okay, this one is last colour. So this basically means the last book I added to my TBR, which was this Poison Heart. The next book that I choose for my TBR has to have similar colours in the cover. So let's have a look at that one. So I think I'm gonna try and find like a greeny coloured book, but if I can't, I might go for like a pink colour or maybe a purple, because there is definitely some purple in this cover. But let's have a look what I've got in my TBR. So the book I have that has the most green is Kiki's Delivery Service by Aiko Kadono, and although this isn't very green, the spine is and the back cover is very green. I feel like there's enough similarities in here that this one does kind of pass, but it is really probably my most green book on my TBR other than Mexican Gothic, which I'm going to buddy read with Amy, so I don't want to like force that one in September because we're already doing a buddy read together. But yeah, so I'm going to choose this one. I'm also being slightly kinder to myself in the fact that this one is a children's book and is quite short and is illustrated, which is adorable, and I absolutely love Kiki's Delivery Service. This follows the same, it's actually the classic that inspired the film Kiki's Delivery Service, which is by Studio Ghibli, which I absolutely adore and is probably my favourite Studio Ghibli film. But this follows a witch in training who is called Kiki and her black cat called Gigi, and they are determined to find their own way in the world, and they move to this very pretty seaside town at the start of the book. But Kiki isn't great in spells and sets up her own magical flying delivery service on her broomstick to deliver all across their new town, but there always seems to be trouble in the air, and I absolutely love the film of this, so I can't wait to read this book. I also feel like, same with Totoro, reading this book is probably going to be very much a comfort read, and maybe will be for a day that I'm not feeling quite so great. Maybe I'll save that one, this one for a day that I'm feeling a little bit low. So we're going on to the fifth and final roll. So again, I haven't changed the board around, but I might move it if we do get a high number like last time. I kind of hope that we get like a chance card or something, because I'm sad that I've made those and haven't got to use them yet. So here we are for the last go. 6 and 2, so that's 8. So I'm going to move the board around. Okay, so we got 8. Okay, so this one is quite an easy prompt, and it's a book that has to include the, a, of, and or an in the title. So I don't know what I'm going to go for, but let's have a look at my TBR and see. I'm also sad that I was one spot off a chance card, because I wanted to pick one of those up. So for this prompt I am going to go for Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. So I got an and in the middle of this one, and I also managed to work a classic into this TBR. I didn't manage to work a classic into my previous monthly TBR for September, so I did want to get this in here somewhere because I am doing a challenge where I read a Wordsworth classic a month for the rest of the year. This is just to try and read as many books as I can off my Wordsworth set, and I think I'm on track to maybe finish them all by the end of the year, which is very exciting. And this one was recommended to me by Blue. They haven't actually read this, but they love the movie, so I put it down as a recommendation from them. And I don't really know much about this one. I have never watched the movie adaptation or anything, and these Wordsworth editions don't really give you much information, but it is a Jane Austen book, and it will be the second Jane Austen book I've read, I believe, because I've only read Persuasion so far earlier in the year, so it's very exciting to be reading a second Jane Austen book. So I feel like I have a TBR which I'm quite happy with. So these are the 5 books I got. I didn't have to add any to my TBR for any reason, which is quite cool. I'm just sad that I didn't get to use any of the community shelf or chance cards, but I'm probably going to keep the board in case this does come up again. But this is a pretty solid TBR with not too many daunting books on here, or not any that really daunt me, because I will probably listen to the audiobook of Sense and Sensibility, which seems to be my preferred way of reading classics at the moment, so I don't find it too daunting with that one. Very excited for Kiki's Delivery Service, and it's also a children's book, so it should be quite a quick read. And I'm looking forward to this Poison Heart, and I found Cinderella is Dead really fast paced, so that one shouldn't take too long. She's Too Pretty to Burn is a YA thriller, and the chapters look really short and the text is quite large, so I imagine that will be quick as well. And then The Death Cure, which I have been getting through the other Maze Runner books quite quickly, even though the text in these ones is fairly small, but I do want to get this one off my TBR, so that one helps as well. So I have a very exciting Bookoplathon TBR, which I'm very excited to get started on very soon. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do want to join us in the Bookoplathon readathon, then please go and check Becca's information out below and subscribe to her as well. And please subscribe to me if you want to see how I do on this readathon, see vlogs from me and other content. And please like this video if you did enjoy it, comment down below, especially if you're going to be taking part in the Bookoplathon as well. And I will see you next time with another video. Bye!